Good morning everybody, or good afternoon whenever you are watching this. I hope you're all doing well, and I just wanted to say I'm so sorry if yesterday you had the incorrect date on the video. That's because I was filming it the day before, ready for you to have a go at it the next day. So it wasn't actually the 11th, it was the 12th. So sorry about that. So today we are going to be planning our newspaper article. So we are still reporters and we are going to be writing about this magical wardrobe that has been found in the professor's house. So on our home learning page, you will have a copy of this plan here. Just going to move my frame so you can see it all. But the plan looks like this. So you could easily copy it down onto a piece of paper using a ruler and a pen or pencil, whatever you would like to plan using. So here we've got a headline, and then we have split it up into separate boxes. Okay, so we've got the introduction, and then we could maybe put these into sort of paragraphs. So you could have next the backstory of the profession and the children, paragraph 3, Lucy's experience of what happened when she found the wardrobe. So we could include a quote from Lucy, so we can use some punctuation, some speech marks. And paragraph 4, a witness statement from an expert. So that might be a scientist or an expert that believes in magical things, magical artifacts. And lastly, we've got our conclusion, so link it back to the introduction and maybe ask a question to the reader. Okay, so let's have a look at writing a headline first. So we will write this one together just so you have got an idea of the sort of things that you could write. Okay, so let's start with our headline. Now, I want to try and include as much information as possible in my headline so that I can draw in the reader and also give a short summary of what the article is going to be about. If I just put girl finds wardrobe, do we think that's going to draw in many readers? I'm going to say probably not, because people buy wardrobes every day. And if you were writing an article about that, I think it would be a little bit boring and I'm not sure you would read it. So what we could have is, let's start off with girl finds magical, I have to do some rearranging here, wardrobe, exclamation mark, we could. Girl finds magical wardrobe. Again, it's good, but it's not telling us much about the girl, much about where the wardrobe is. So let's see if we can edit this. Could actually put how old the girl is. I'm not going to say Lucy finds magical wardrobe, because who's Lucy? As far as this person knows, they don't have any idea of a Lucy, or they might think it's a Lucy they know, so we're just going to say girl for now, okay? So 8-year-old girl finds magical wardrobe, and I'm going to make that even a little bit longer. In sleepy Somerset village. So I'm giving an indication of who found it, what the wardrobe is like, and where it has been found. So 8-year-old girl finds magical wardrobe in sleepy Somerset village. So already they're going to want to read it, because it's unusual that a wardrobe would ever be magic, and why on earth would one be found in a very ordinary, quiet village? So when I say sleepy, I don't mean that everyone is really tired in the village. I mean it's really quiet and not much happens. Okay. Another thing you might notice, and you might have remembered this from when you have written newspaper headlines before, but it's not like a usual sentence. There are words missing. So I haven't put in a sleepy Somerset village. I've just put in sleepy Somerset village, because I'm just getting rid of unnecessary words, and people can generally get and understand what I'm trying to say from the words that I have included here. So let's start writing the first part of our plan. So quite helpfully, we've got who, what, why, where, and when. So this is a very good way to structure our introduction because it's telling the reader everything about the article that they are about to read. It's also to entice them. So we are going to start with talking about who. So Lucy, and we can say what her age is. So 8-year-old girl. Don't know why I capitalised girl then. 8-year-old girl. Remember, we're just writing notes here, so you don't need to be terribly complicated when you're writing these notes. And what? So we're going to be talking about a magical wardrobe. Why? Actually, yeah, we would probably just put, wardrobe here. And then in brackets, we could put magical. Because that is the why. So why are we talking about this wardrobe? Because it is magical. Where was it found? Found in the professor's house. It's not just a house, is it? It's a mansion. So remember, let's be specific when we are writing our plans. Found in the professor's mansion. When? Found. I've already put found, so I put during a game, or actually I've just put hide and seek, so I don't use all the room up. Hide and seek. And then I could be really specific about when that game of hide and seek took place. So let's pretend I'm writing as a reporter during that time, okay? And I would say, last Sunday. Sunday seems like a good day for a game of hide and seek. Let's make this a bit smaller so it fits in there. So we've got our who, which is Lucy. She's an 8-year-old girl. And we have got our what, wardrobe, that's what we're going to be talking about, and why, because it's magical. Where was this found? It was found in the professor's mansion. And when? During a hide and seek last Sunday. Okay, so that's our introduction covered. So next up, we have got the background story of Professor and children. Okay, so we need to know a little bit about them before we write our second paragraph. If you want to challenge yourself, feel free to pause the video and write down perhaps 3 things that you would mention to cover the background of the professor and the children to give a good idea for those reading the article. However, you can do it with me now if you would like. Okay, so we're going to have a go at writing our second paragraph now. So I think it's important to say how many children are living with the professor, why are they living there, and you know, who is the professor? Does he usually live alone? Does he live with anyone? You know, what is his life like or his home? So, background story of the children first. So, let's put 4 siblings, because I'm saying specifically they're not just 4 children, but they're actually brothers and sisters together. So 4 siblings have been evacuated together, because sometimes evacuees might be split up. So I think it's important to say that they have been evacuated together and live in home of wealthy professor, and I'll use a P for professor just so I'm not using up all my space. And I might say something about their mother just to give a bit of extra information. So I might say mother is nurse in London, because it might mean that they have been evacuated because she is constantly at work and there is no one to look after her. Because being a nurse in wartime would have been quite tough. So I think that gives a little bit of extra information. Now, professor usually lives alone in huge mansion. I might say he has 1 housekeeper and one gardener, because that gives a bit of information. Has a housekeeper and a gardener instead of one, because that gives a bit of information as to who usually lives with the professor. Okay, so that when we come to talk about the wardrobe, people might be thinking, I wonder why they've never noticed this wardrobe before. Okay, perhaps we might also say where exactly this mansion is. Lives alone in his huge mansion in, let's think of a county that's near Bristol. Somerset. Let's go for Somerset. I'm sure there's, and I've put Somerset at the top here anyway. Okay, so Professor usually lives alone in a huge mansion in Somerset. He has a housekeeper and a gardener. So next we need to move on to Lucy and find out what her experiences were. So remember I said about maybe using quotes here, so using punctuated speech, so that when someone is reading the article, they can imagine that that's what the person actually said. So I might start it here with Lucy says, I met a fawn, because that's what she got up to in the wardrobe. I met a fawn in the wardrobe. Might also have her saying, at the back of the wardrobe is a magical land called Narnia. Because people might be shocked if they read that. They might think, do you know what? I've never heard of this Narnia place before. I don't think it's true. It must be a load of rubbish. So it can help them come to some conclusions. So I met a fawn in the wardrobe. At the back of the wardrobe is a magical land called Narnia. It is always winter there, but never Christmas, because you know we've heard that line quite a few times, and that might be quite significant. So that might give people an idea of the climate or what the atmosphere or what it looks like in Narnia as well. Okay, let's have a look at witness statement from an expert. So I might write a couple of examples, but I'll let you finish it off because otherwise I'll have planned it all out. So try and have a think of some things that you could include that I haven't already included. But your witness statements might want to come from, let's say, scientists, or you might also have a witness statement from Mrs. Macready. But remember, she might say that it's a load of rubbish and that she doesn't believe in it because she's never seen any type of magical wardrobe before. We might also, you could maybe have let's have a look. So you might have the professor who might have made a statement because it is his house after all. You could even have, just trying to think, you could even have the local carpenter. So a carpenter is someone that makes things out of wood. So you might get the local carpenter coming along to have a little look and check out this wooden wardrobe to see if it's like any wardrobe he's experienced before. Okay, so maybe you could use some punctuation there as well, so they might comment on it. So I might say, scientists have commented. And you could, or Miss Macready has stated. Okay, but remember when you write your article, you need to say who they are because they might not know who Miss Macready is. So you might say, Miss Macready, professor's housekeeper has stated. Okay, just so it makes sense. And then what you want to do is write a small conclusion back to your introduction. Okay, so this conclusion, you might have a rhetorical question in there, such as, do you think a magical wardrobe actually exists? Or you might comment saying that the story is still ongoing, or stay tuned for more news on the magical world of Narnia. It's up to you what you would like to put. So I hope that makes sense. We will put a copy of this plan on the home learning site, but again, you can write it out quite easily, and you could potentially also make up your own headings. If you want to use subheadings to help you with your writing and help you structure it, and also just to practice your non-fiction skills, then go ahead and use them. It's up to you. All right, so we want you to just plan out your newspaper article so you're ready to write it later on. All right, so best of luck. Any questions? Feel free to give me an email as always, and remember you're just writing in note form here, so you don't need to be too fancy with your sentences. All right, best of luck, and I'll see you soon. Bye.